Hey, come on in. Welcome to State Farm. I think I started this because this was my way that I can give back in the biggest, most authentic way I can. So there was a time where I used failure to learn and use it as my launching pad. So I enjoy giving people the opportunity to do the same, right? If you just need one person to give you a chance to create the future that you want, to create the life that you want, I'd love to be named as that person. I'd love to be the person to provide that opportunity for a family or for somebody getting their life off the ground. I was given an opportunity like that. I have some incredible mentors, but that's what business ownership means to me. Is I get to create jobs, I get to provide opportunities for people to explore and to figure out exactly what's going to work for them, and we can capitalize on it and coach on it and extrapolate on it to the point where people are able to make a fulfilling life for themselves because they've interacted with me. And I can say I played a small role in that. And that's one of the more fulfilling parts about business ownership. I don't know if that can be understated. I don't, but it's one of my favorite parts, for sure. The internship program that I've set up with a couple of local community colleges is that I get to meet with younger people, people that I remember being 17, 18, 19 years old, and the world is both open and rapidly closing at the same time. All these grand dreams and opportunities that you felt you had, you're beginning to hear and see that maybe they're not as attainable. But I get to sit down with an 18-year-old college student and pay them and relieve them of that stress and tell them the world is yours, right? It's failure is the start of you learning something else and learning to get better, and that a lot of people are going to place their own restrictions on who you should be and who you are and what you can do, because that's what they believe their own capabilities are. So I get to sit down with a young person and let them know that that's not what the world is. The world is what they're able to create from it. And that's what I love most about my partnership, the Joshua Brandt State Farm partnership with our local community colleges, because they can come here, intern, get class credit, and I get the satisfaction of seeing a young person come in with a completely different idea than they leave with. So one of the largest factors in the business ownership being possible outside of my wife and son has been endurance running. It's been ultra running. And of course, I've done everything from a 5K to a 100-miler, but one of the most impactful experiences of my life was running the Nashville Rock and Roll St. Jude Marathon of 2022. One aspect of running that I love is being able to raise money for organizations that I believe in. And St. Jude has always been an organization where if you donate money, you can follow the money all the way down to somebody's life being saved or research being done. And so I kind of was at a standstill with my fundraising for this race with like a month to go. And I sat down on a couch after a 50K that I did in Florida, and I was thinking, like, how do I raise the stakes? And immediately I posted a story about running this marathon with a 40-pound weight vest on, and I posted a link to the St. Jude donation website, and almost within a week I went from like $500 to like $3,500 being collected in the donation. So that's when I did. I didn't train. The longest I had run with a 40-pound vest on was, I think, 5.5 miles before that. And then that day I went 26.2. I sprained my ankle. It was a fun day. It was a great experience, but overall it was one of the hardest things I had ever done and still have ever done. And I wound up raising, I think, over $5,000. A lot of people stepped up because it was so preposterous, but I think throughout the entire spectrum of races I've run, whether it's 24 hours, 100 miles, this marathon was the most impactful. So being here locally, right? Insurance is a commodity, right? Everybody knows that. You can throw a rock, hit an insurance agent, go online, Google insurance. So what we have is the opportunity here locally to be fully and utterly accountable, right? So from the contracts that we write in the beginning, we need to make sure on the front end that they're good, that we write insurance contracts that are usable. And I think just the thought we put into it, unfortunately, differentiates us, right? Because we are insurance professionals. We are the advisors, where we can tell you that the most common claims in Tennessee are this and this, and here's the coverage that will cover this and this. And in those respects, do you want to pay more? Do you want State Farm to pay for the whole thing? And we get to have those conversations with people on exactly what you want to be paying for. And that, I believe, is the value of having an accountable agency where you live, in the state that you live in, because you get to come in and yell at us. You get to come in and thank us. You get to come in with your baked good around Christmas time, right? If you're happy. So we get to experience all of that. But from the moment we're talking, we're looking out in your best interest, because we want to set you up for success. And that is the practice that holds us all accountable here. That is the foundation of every decision that we make here. My name is Joshua Brandt, and this is why I own a small business.